Hello everybody, I'm Tom Vassell. Welcome to 10,000 and Below, where we continue to take a look at games that are ranked very, very low on Board Game Geek and tell you what I think about them. Maybe there's hidden gems. Maybe there's hidden pieces of garbage. You never know. Let's take a look and find out. So we'll start with this one first here, Risk Battlefield Rogue. We always take a look at the first one. This one has 186 ratings too. Staten's Nickel, I don't know what that is. Seen It Friends. And Star Wars Galaxy Rebellion. And Space Pigs. That's a good start. We'll take a look at those. Risk Battlefield Rogue. So this brings, I guess, from the video game Battlefield with the strategy of Risk. Rob Daviau was the one in charge of this. Well, this certainly looks better than Risk. There's certainly some really cool pieces. I might want to get this one, just based on the pieces. Interesting. So, why the low rating? Let's see what the comments say. Risk in name only. Nice minis that can be used Nice minis that can be utilized elsewhere. Excuse me. Pollen in the air or something. Interesting concepts. Dopey wargaming fun. Huh. The rules have holes big enough to drive a tank through. Well, okay. All right, Satan's Nickel. This is from Casper and Target Games. Your noble family trying to build up your neighborhood. Have your members in high offices at the same time. It must just not have really folk worked together, because the concept of this game certainly sounds interesting. Yeah, the graphics are okay. Seen It Friends. I think we all have a friend who we would not want to play this against. This was re-implemented by Seen It... What? Seen It Friends Deluxe Edition. Okay. Star Wars Galaxy Rebellion. This one's from Reiner Knizia. A Press Your Luck. Oh, this is the... Oh, I don't know what this is, actually. I thought this was the one from Fantasy Flight, similar to it. This does not look bad, actually. It doesn't look like it's Star Wars. Very few comments. It's a simple dice game for kids. Only in Europe. This might be an interesting one to hunt down, right? Space Pigs, 1999, from Tilsit. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing this. This is probably built, there's people, pigs in space. Yeah, I guess if you like basically making fun of science fiction, it looks like an old style game, right? When did this come out? 1999? But it looks a little older than that. Humorous game. I like this, which freely borrows from Star Wars, Dune, and all those science fiction chestnuts. That's like an old phrase. Alrighty, let's see what else we got here. Equate has 102 ratings. Sorry Revenge card game. Rise or Fall. I gave that one a 6. Wahoo! Monopoly Hotels. We definitely want to take a look at that one. And Firefly Shiny Dice. All right. So Equate here. Conceptual Math Media. Scrabble with Math. 27 divided by 9 equals 3. I think I would try this one out for sure. I doubt many people would want to play this one with me, though. Or maybe some math nerds, and then I'd find someone who I'd say, ooh, I'm not playing this with them, but fraction tiles? Sounds fun to me. Sorry Revenge card game. Win the race to flip all your pawn cards home. You're trying to get the pile to go to 21 without going bust. So it's one of those style games. Man, no. Not rated highly at all. Rise or Fall from Foxmind. You are representing a clique trying to get popularity points if you can. Apparently, I thought this game was okay when I played it. Oh, yeah. Man, some of these games, I look back and I'm like, maybe I should have been meaner to it. I don't know. Wahoo. This game is considered offensive by many and is part of the BGG database for completeness. Well, that's interesting. I don't understand. Oh, I can see why. All right. Well, there you go. I just saw the abstract board and I thought, why is that a big deal? But I can see why now. Well, I wonder if you could just play like the game without a different theme. It looks like an abstract strategy game. Well, it's probably not that great of a game. It looks very similar to like Parcheesi. Monopoly Hotels. This is not the game called Hotels. This is Monopoly Hotels. Has a kind of a neat concept. You see building these things to the top. That looks fun. If I had seen this when I was a kid, I would have enjoyed it. 2013. You're building hotel forts, collecting rent, sabotaging your opponent's efforts. But it is not rated very highly. Let's see why. Quick fun. Some cards are too pointless. It's a fast version of Monopoly. Too quick, too easy. Much better than regular monotony. All right, Firefly Shiny Dice. Scott Moore's a friend of mine. I really like him, and I know he loves Firefly. But I'm telling you, this game was just not good for me at all. There's a pressure luck aspect here, but you have to pressure luck sometimes without much information. The game looked pretty neat, but the game was more complex than it should have been here. You can see here, I just really, really did not like this game, and I wanted to like it so much, but I just felt that there was too many problems with the game, and it's ranked quite low. Alrighty, come on, let's find one that's fun. Canaletto, probably not. Narnia Risk Jr., Don't Panic, Lubeck, Stop Up, Wolfsling, the board game, The Three Commandments. There's a lot of interesting looking games here. Trivia for Dummies. Actually, I want to look at that. Miskatonic's School for Girls, Wanna Bet, and Cowpoker. And Pictionary Jr. Man, when we're only halfway through this list, there's a lot of games down in the low bends. Canaletto, this was re-implemented by a different game. Der Garten des Schönheits. That one has a higher rank on it. An open auction game. You're bidding for heirlooms in Venetian palaces. Okay. What's the... Interesting. I'm trying to take a closer look at the board. That is like a very old looking board. Alrighty. Narnia Risk Jr. This was re-implemented by Risk Jr. Sure. This ties in with the movie, The Witch, the Lion, and the Wardrobe. There's so many of these Risk games out there, and the best things of them are the pieces. I wonder if this one's similar to the Lord of the Rings one. I would try this. Oh, it's done by Richard Borg. I think it's worth a try anyway. Don't Panic. Lots of different names. You're going to draw a card, announce a category. You must name 3 things, like things at the beach. As soon as you're able to do 3 things, you move it based on where you stop the timer. Then you name 4 things. Oh, that doesn't sound that interesting, but I want to look at this picture because this picture looks amazing. That's a great cover. I love that cover. From the hairstyles to the... Who's the girl pointing at there? All right. Lubeck, a family strategy game. You're sailing through the seas. This is from Reiner Stockhausen from DLP Games. This was one of his earlier games in 2009. Man, that looks super boring. But hey, good news. came out with some fantastic games later on. Stop Op. This re-implements touring and re-implemented by touring from 1906. That one's ranked really low. We'll talk about this when we get there. And it's done by the online internet card game, which is also ranked very low. So this is the one in between. This looks like Male Borns. Huh. All right. Woolsung, the board game. You are inventors and industrialists living in a fictional steampunk world. Wow, that looks cool. Wow, I like everything about how this game looks. Oh, it looks... Why is it so ranked so low? A dry cube pusher. Oh, sentimental reasons. Used for components. Lots of cubes. Oh, that's too bad. Looks neat. The Three Commandments. This is from Friedman Freese and the Lamont brothers. I know about this. You know some rules, but no one else knows what the rules are. So kind of like a Maui style game. People tend to not like these style games, which is probably why this one's ranked lower. Trivia for Dummies. You give a hand of cards which have all the answers. 1 to 10, true, false, several colors. You read a question and then you play them. Well, that's not really having all the answers if it's multiple choice. Miskatonic School for Girls. Now, notice there's a Miskatonic School for Boys. Miskatonic School from Girls. This was, I think, the first game from Fun to 11. And it sounded interesting, right? This whole idea of a school for girls, but there's a Cthulhu background for it. What this game was like a deck deconstructor, which was an interesting idea, but it was just really boring and pretty bad, actually. I was not a fan of this one, and this was one of those, I think this was a Kickstarter, but definitely this had a lot of, maybe it wasn't a Kickstarter, but definitely had a lot of fans of people who liked it despite the bad gameplay because of the theme, and yet it's still pretty low here, unfortunately. Want to bet? You got to do different tasks, and then people guess if you succeed in them or not. Blah, blah, blah. Cow Poker. Oh, it's an old Steve Jackson game, which looks like the James Ernest and Mike Selinker. There's some people playing it. You control Cowtown and only cards with your ranch, and you try to score points. Winning tricks called gunfights and roundups. It's Steve Jackson, so there's probably a lot of silliness involved. Pictionary Jr., a simplified version. And this one you're going to handbag, fingernail, thorn, and hide. I don't know if I like the graphic design there or not. Alrighty, let's continue on and see what else we can find. Star Wars Miniature Starship Battles. Wow, that's ranked pretty low for Star Wars. A Pac-Man card game. Cooking Cookies. White Elephant. Well, I could already pretty much tell you how that game's going to play. Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal board game. That's ranked lower than I would have thought. Senator. Petropolis. Aloha. Legitimacy. Alrighty, this one here was from Wizards of the Coast. You build your fleets, you play against each other. I don't believe I ever played this game. It looks really neat. I mean, this is like what I would want, to be able to have all these ships go around and fight each other. And it looks like they got everything from all the different movies here involved. It just sounds fun. I mean, Fantasy Flight has obviously made their own thing on here. I wonder why it's ranked so low. Let's take a look at the comments here. Nice miniatures, but shallow and expensive. Well, it's probably not expensive now. The game is so-so. Beautiful miniatures, but horrible game system. No tactics. Bendy spaceships. I love Star Wars. How can you do dogfighting? Yeah, that's true. The dark side. Dice. Star Wars. I would try this out, I think. Pac-Man card game. Oh, this looks so bad. Oh my word! It doesn't even look good. There's cards with dice or dominoes. I'm not sure which. The Pac-Man and Ghosts. Ugh! This deserves to be low rated. Dear Lord. This here was from Monkey Shine Games. I remember when this one was talked about. It's actually a Dear Lord. It's a pun. Do something. Give the opposite answer to 3 questions, and you can discard your hand and draw that many cards. Okay. Yep. I'm out. White Elephant. Some people call it Yankee Swap. Dirty Santa. I don't think I've ever heard it called that. Thieving Secret Santa or Parcel Pass. Dirty Santa. All right, anyway. Yeah, so we do a White Elephant every year. I missed it this past year. But, silliness. Oh, actually, we did one. We did one for the Dice Tower. That was a lot of fun. Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal board game. Okay, so I remember this one was announced. I remember when I saw it, I thought, I don't know, it doesn't look very good. The card quality doesn't look great. It looks like it's basically a game made to take advantage of people's nostalgia for the genre. So it looks like I was justified in thinking that because this is a pretty low rank. It's a big box, nice looking miniatures, but is it good enough for a game? Senator. This is ranked 17,118, which is lower than the... You have to realize that the rankings here, I did a snapshot of these to do them in order, so this is ranked even lower than it was when we first looked at it. But this is from Eric Lang and Kevin Wilson. This was actually, I believe, the first Eric Lang game I ever played. And in this game, there were different senators, and you were backstabbing and fighting to control these senators, and the points of the game were really small. The game could end with like 5 to 3 to 1. I did not like it at all. I have since really come to like a lot of Eric Lang's games, for sure, but not this one. And it seems like many people agree with me. Petropolis. This came out the year I was born. It's 2 to 7 players compete for the thrills of being an oil tycoon. Woo-hoo! Yeah, it looks like a economic roll and move game. Aloha. This is a quali game, actually. Some quali games are ranked very highly. A lot of people like a lot of his stuff. This one has some nice looking pieces. Has a hexagon map, which is a little boring, actually, but just it's not doing well in the ratings. Legitimacy. I played this one, another one from Minion Games. This was one of the first games I played from Minion Games, and I liked the concept of the map here. Had these hexagon maps, and you connected them together. Had funny artwork. Who did do the artwork for this? It looks like Chuck Whelan, but he was also the designer, which is not always a great combo. He's done art for a lot of games here I'm looking at, mostly for Minion Games. And you can see some of the games for Minion Games are ranked higher than not, like Battle Merchants from Gil Hova, which is actually a pretty good game. But this was not a good game. It was just a game in which you ran around and tried to collect items. It was like a fantasy game, but for really, really basic. I was not impressed with it at all. All right, let's continue seeing what else we can find here. Zogar's Gaze. Oh, and we'll look at Europe Aflame. Chaos Marauders. Disc Wars Legends of the Five Rings. I did not know there was a Disc Wars for that thing here. Dig it up. It's all capitals. Wing Commander. Oh, that's probably not a good game. All right, fine. We'll look at it. Tomato. Oh, yeah. And Xeno Warrior Princess, the board game. All right. Zogar's Gaze. As he looks upon you. Draw a random race and class and keep your identity secret. Then go in there and collect the objects you need to get your win conditions. Fantastic artwork. Which doesn't match these cards. Oh, well. I like the name. Europe Aflame. This is from TSR. A game of land, sea, and air. A lot of counters here. This looks like a... Whoa. counters on stands? Huh. I think if you're going to do that, you're probably better off just using blocks. Let's see what the Wargamers say about this one and why it's... Ooh, whoa. A lot of low ranking. Like Europe and Golf, Axis and Allies, but with simple and bad rules. Oof, if you're comparing to Axis and Allies and saying it's simple, the rules are terribly written. Zero interested. Broken. Oh, well. Chaos Marauders. 2nd edition from Fantasy Flight Games. I reviewed this a while ago. Let me see if I'm looking at the cards, if I can remember what it was about. I can't. I'd have to go back and watch my own review. Disc Wars. So the cool thing about Disc Wars is the movement. You basically roll the, or no, you flip over the, you flip over the circles, and that gives you, it's a really cool movement system. It's not as neat as having miniatures on a board, and whew, these are some pretty bad graphics on here. But I've always had a soft spot for Disc Wars. Koenig der Malwarfel. Why did I look at this one? Now I'm going back to see why I picked it. Because it had 96 ratings. 97 now. They lived on nothing but delicious fried dice that fell from the sky. One day, the rain of fried dice. So they look... One day, the rain of fried dice dried up, and the dice mouths got extremely hungry. But they remembered all the dice that they'd spat out in older, better times. Looking around, they found that many of them had developed into full-grown dice trees covered with fresh, ripe fried dice. But when the dice mouths tried to leave their towers to pick the dice, they found they got so fat they couldn't get out through the doors. They were trapped in their own towers. But just before it was too late, one of the dice mouths who saved a few dice in his tower had a brilliant idea. He spat out a die, just as they had always done, but this time as the die shot out of the tower, he kept tight hold of it, and he and his tower were dragged along behind the flying dice. In this way, he managed to reach the dice trees, pick their fruit, and pass them all to their friends, saving the race of dice mouths. That is crazy theme. What does that even mean? How does the game work? What am I looking at here? This is amazing. I gotta see this game someday. Dig it up. This is from Korean Board Games. A treasure hunter going around and digging up treasure. Well, it has these little wooden pickaxes. That's kind of cool. Oh, I like how the tiles look. Wing Commander. A collectible card game from Wing Commander with bad drawings of the characters from, looks like Wing Commander 3, Kilrathi and Tarad. Well, I'll tell you what though, despite all that, this is 1995. If I had seen this in 1995, I would have probably bought some packs because I really liked Wing Commander. Tomato Tomato is not a really great game. You're essentially putting a bunch of cards in a row and then you just got to say them. So you might be like, tomato, 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 or tomato, tomato. It just, that's the game. Not that great. Xena Warrior Princess, the board game. This is from who knows what. Start the game with 6 diners and a Gabrielle card. So bad screenshots. Why does she have is that a suction cup on her head? What is going on? Wow, the graphic design here is pretty bad. All right. Oh, there's a bunch of stats. Is this a... Whew. Well, if you like Xena, maybe this one's worth hunting down, but probably not. And that's that, folks. That is another 100 games. Whew. We're down to now 16,700. And there are many games left to go through. Well, I'm interested to take a look at them. We got many times to go through. If there's something here I should have talked about or something that caught your eye, mention it in the comments. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching 10,000 and Below on the Dice Tower.